Welcome to the Squared Ring podcast. We got Nate Dogg in the house. We got your Central States and Bruiser Brody Trophy winner Bobby D, and I am the SICW one half of the tag team champions, the Big Texan, and welcome. I kind of want to just start off and talk about Jay Briscoe for a second. I'm sure you guys all heard the passing just happened yesterday. As we're recording, this is Wednesday, and his accident happened Tuesday. They said around 5:30 or something like that. Got a little, not that it's bizarre, but there was a little more to than just Jay passing. Jay had both his daughters in the vehicle. One was 9, one was 12. One of them is critically injured. She's going to have back surgery. The other one wasn't as bad, but Jay did lose his life. And it was another lady driving a pickup who crossed over into their lane and hit him head on. She too has passed. So both drivers of each vehicle have passed away, and then the kids are one, like I said, one is critically injured, and the other one is not as serious. But so still, I just want to say our condolences and thoughts and prayers are with the Briscoe family. His wife has just got to be going crazy right now, and I totally understand you lose your husband and your daughters are in an accident as well. So it's kind of sad news and sad to start off the podcast that way, but just out of respect for their family, I would say that we should honor them. I recently, earlier today, I saw this TikTok, and it had Jay and one of his daughters. I don't know which one it was, but she had a dance routine. And she was counting the steps, and she got him to do it with her. And so he's all dancing with her, and they're doing that counting of the steps so they don't want to turn and twist. And it's pretty cool because Nate, I know you probably never paid attention to Ring of Honor or the old Ring of Honor. The Briscoes were like the hard nose, straight at you type of tag team. You look at them and they look like, I think I told you before, they look like hillbillies from back in the day, where you would get intimidated just by looking at them because they're all tattooed, and either one of them's got a mohawk or the other one's in like dreads and stuff. They were a badass tag team in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, they were.
And just to know that side of them, and then just to see the video of him and his daughter dancing, it's crazy. It's just a sad day.
Heartwarming and uplifting and sad all at the same time.
Yeah, it very rarely do WWE or NXT say anything about a wrestler who never wrestled for them, but they actually in NXT they stopped and announced the passing of him, and they honored him, which is very, like I said, I don't think they've ever done that. Now they've done it to wrestlers that were in WCW that were formerly working for the WWE or WWF, but for the Briscoes were probably the only tag team, like I think I was talking to you earlier, that had multiple opportunities to come to WWE and wrestle, but they always chose to stay with their home promotion because they're like one of the few, not even just tag teams, just wrestlers that started on day one of that promotion, and that promotion's still going on. So, they were probably going to finish with that promotion. So, it's very rare, having an opportunity to jump to the big times. Not that the Ring of Honor wasn't, because for the longest time it was always like WWE, WCW, Ring of Honor / ECW, because they were ECW and Ring of Honor was pretty much on the same scale, at least to me. Um, you had ECW a little bit more extreme, but in the same token, I've been to some Ring of Honor matches where they go balls to the wall. It's.
Yep.
But yeah, so just Jay Briscoe, may you rest in peace. So I just want to throw that out at the beginning. All right, so we're coming off of a weekend of wrestling. Saturday we had the big show. We had a Cole main event. Me and Bobby D, of course, was in one part of the main event. But I know Nathan doesn't know the results, so it should be interesting to see what he thinks about it. So we had the other main event was Flash Flanagan versus Andrew Anderson, which is going under Purple Haze, and he had a manager in town with him, Kevin Sullivan, which I didn't know what to expect from this match. I don't know what you thought going into the match, Bobby, but you got Kevin Sullivan, who much respect, but he's getting a little older on the age there, and then you got Andrew Anderson, who's also in his 50s, but Saturday night proved that he can still go. Because
I tell you, I did not expect him to try to set him on fire.
right.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain that one, because I didn't expect the setting on fire thing either. That's not supposed to be part of the shtick.
I mean, it was a brutal match back and forth. Flash cutting open Andrew Anderson, so he was bleeding all over the place. But then Kevin Sullivan got into it. He was holding some sort of bag, and no one knew what it was. But what ended up being in there was it some sort of like barbecue fuel or
charcoal fluid?
Charcoal fluid, yeah. So it was lighter fluid. And at one point, they had Flash on the outside of the ring, and Kevin was just dousing him, and you can just smell it. And then Andrew grabbed the lighter and was actually trying to light the lighter, which would have put Flash up in flames. I mean, he would have earned his nickname, I guess you would say.
Up in the flash.
Up in a flash, yes. So, I mean, it was a very brutal match. I mean, you got Kevin Sullivan is used to using a golden spike. Of course, he handed that off to Anderson, and so Anderson was using it throughout the match. And then you got Flash, who's known for his Singapore cane, and he brought that into the match. And I think that's what actually busted him open, busted Andrews open. But yeah, so you had this match inside the ring, outside the ring, weapons being used, manager being used, almost a fire. So it was pretty crazy. And for the life of me, I don't even know who won, to be honest, because I think Flash won, but it was so crazy. Huh?
The fans won.
The fans won. There you go. Because, honestly, I didn't even know. Because it was so chaotic, it was probably thrown out. I mean, you try to set a wrestler on fire and shit hits the fan there, people start to freak out about that stuff.
That becomes life and death.
Right. And, some promotions or some wrestlers, they fake that crap where, it's a bottle of water. No, as soon as you seen him start spraying that all over him, you're going to smell it. I mean, it was legit lighter fluid.
I can't recall ever seeing that from the 80s on up with somebody trying to light another one on fire.
Well, so
I don't ever heard of Vampiro.
Yeah, I mean, hell, for that matter, there was a match with Kane and the Undertaker, and the ropes were on fire, and how you won was you had to set the other guy on fire. and Kane ended up losing that match. Yeah, you don't think the WWE has some crazy stuff, but there's a lot of stuff they probably don't want ever repeated or shown again. You know, I mean, you got the Triple H and Katie Vick scenario. I don't know if Bobby remembers that.
Katie Vick.
Katie Vick was, let's just say, she was supposedly dead and in a casket, and Triple H climbed in the casket.
Oh,
and
that one.
Sexually harassing the lady. Of course, you can tell it was.
I don't remember that part.
It was a dummy. You can obviously see there was a dummy in the casket, but they were trying to pretend that he was in the casket trying to manipulate some things. But I don't even remember the whole story of that was part of. It had to be part of Kane's thing with Katie Vick, because I know they brought in another casket when they were doing Big Boss Man versus the Giant. The Big Show. I mean, they went to as far as saying the Big Show's father had passed away, and then you got Big Boss Man coming in, grabbing a hold of the casket and dragging it behind a car, and then you had Big Show running and climbing on the casket to prevent him from. And so he ends up dragging the casket and Big Show. You know, I mean, like they pulled off some stuff.
I would want to be in that meeting for them to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, and how in the hell it went ahead and went forward.
Hey, the worst case thing I would have to say was the Mae Young chocolate. The glove. So there was Mark Henry.
Sexual Chocolate was his name.
He was going by Sexual Chocolate right at that time.
Mark Henry.
And he was in sexual relations with Mae Young, who was like in her 80s. And supposedly he got her pregnant. Yeah. Supposedly he got her pregnant. And she's in her 80s and he got her pregnant. But she delivered, and when she delivered, it was a hand. Wasn't a baby. It was a hand.
So the latex glove filled up and tied shut. And they said, we were wondering what happened to that.
Yeah, so I mean, they definitely have their bizarres. But yeah, so I can't tell you anything recent of them trying to set a person on fire. So, you know,
I mean, when Saudi Arabia finishes buying them, maybe they'll throw them off roofs and stuff again.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, Nate, that supposedly WWE is in talks to sell to the Saudis, which is kind of crazy because, you know, they don't believe in women's rights, and you got a whole roster of women, you know, via NXT or even the Raw and SmackDown brands.
Well, so, like if you watch that rule when they go over there, all the women are not in their normal outfits. They're in full long sleeve, full pant jumpsuits, damn near turtlenecks.
Right. So all you can really see is their hands and their face. So you know, if you watch a program nowadays, you know, they're scantily clad. Where you can.
I recommend checking out Alexa Bliss for research.
I mean, so
I'll use your computer.
You don't want that history.
So yeah, they're all scantily clad, and then going over there, there's nothing. Yeah, I mean, they're from like the neck all the way down, long sleeves, everything. So, and you know, some of them has already said that if it's true, that they're going to quit, and which is weird because you know you just had that hiring blitz basically that Triple H did, just to turn around for Vince to come back in and fuck it all up. But I guess
for Herb.
Huh? What'd you say about Herb?
Could be an opportunity for Herb, yeah. They're gonna quit.
Nah. Well, I mean, Herb's in his 50th year, this year, but I don't think he wants to tackle a big juggernaut like that.
No, I
That's
meant
a
bringing
lot.
the girls over to the SICW if they quit WWE.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, there's a possibility that they might float in and out. But I thought you were talking about her buying WWE, and that's gonna be high in the billions, if not. I mean, the Saudis have an endless supply of money, so who knows how much they actually would pay for it. I'm sure they want to enclose that too. So,
And it's been going at a pretty good clip for so many years. I'm wondering when the downturn's going to come. It might be after if it does in fact get sold.
well, I don't know. So wrestling has had it comes in waves, and right now it's still in a wave. I guess you would say with AEW, doing as good as they're doing. Um, shoot, AEW bought Ring of Honor, so you got two promotions right there. You got Impact, who's still struggling, but they're trying to get back up in there.
They're still on
I mean,
TV.
and then of course you got NXT, which is ran pretty much by Shawn Michaels, and then you got Raw and SmackDown ran by Triple H. So I mean, the only thing that can really hurt it, at least on the WWE side, is if Vince goes back into the creative line and screws around with Triple H again.
Yeah.
Because even though they're related now through marriage, that what Vince did to Triple H when he went out on injury with his heart attack and kind of redid the whole NXT model, pretty much everything that Triple H did, Vince just
Undid it.
flipped it. Yeah, undid it. So
was it Vince or Triple H that shut down NXT in the UK? Who shut that one down?
I think that was still Vince, because there was a whole bunch of stuff already in motion when when Vince got in trouble. And you know what? To tell you an article that I read about today, it's a corporation, so it's a lot of stockholders. Well, the majority of stockholders is it's like firemen, police of Detroit. I want to say it's Detroit City, and so they're actually suing Vince McMahon to stop anything, to stop a sale, because that's all their pensions and all their funds are tied up into that stock. And right now they're suing him, and they're trying to prevent him from doing anything, selling it or otherwise. So it'll be interesting in the next couple of days to see. Well, probably be a couple months, but to see what's going to go down.
It's going to take some time if they're filing lawsuits. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
It'll take
and
good time.
how it is. Well, you figure if that's the police and the firemen's fund, they got pretty good lawyers. Most of the time, if you're going after the WWE, they got the top brass when it comes to lawyers. But now you're messing with city officials, so yeah, they got some good lawyers too.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it'll
let's
be
circle back. What was the next match?
Well, the next main event was our match. So it was the 6-man tag team elimination match. Of course, it was Bobby D and Gary Jackson and me versus Attila, Sheik Prater, and Peyton Ayers.
Devastation Incorporated.
Devastation Incorporated. So even Stephen E. was out there.
Did it stay 3-on-3?
Well, it starts 3-on-3, and then it's an elimination.
Yeah, so there was no other outside interference. Plug, gentleman Jack.
Where's yours, Bobby? Come on, you're letting the big Texan out. Throw some whiskey down.
Bye-bye.
So
And I'm the biggest wuss of all. Flavored water.
I got a regular.
There's always got to be one.
Yeah.
There's always got to be one.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah, there was no other outside interference. Everyone that was in the match them in it. So, it started off them coming out to the ring. Of course, we fall behind, but Attila wanted to take some time and do his little praying. So he got down on his little mat or his magic carpet, I don't know what you want to say, and did a little praying job. So we came to the conclusion that we were going to stop that.
Yeah, we didn't really want to watch that. We figured nobody else wanted to watch it either.
Yeah, no one else wanted to watch that, so we just went ahead and jumped them. I would say jumped them from behind, but you had Sheik Prater and Peyton Ayers facing us the whole time, so they seen us coming. It's just that Attila didn't, because he was still bent down praying. But I tell you what, Stephen E. got out of there pretty quick because he was in the ring too.
He wasn't going to risk getting touched.
Right.
Wasn't it Jimmy Hart, or was it the $1 Million Man that used to rat out of the ring and run around?
Oh, it was Jimmy Hart. He was pretty big known for that. He would like poke the bear, and then when the bear comes back at him, he would just run. So
quick little guy.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. Yeah, so actually, I can't even say after the dust cleared because they escaped. They all powdered outside of the ring, and even Attila went and grabbed a steel chair from one of the audience members.
He couldn't handle the heat.
Right. So after that cleared up, and we actually started the match. Bobby, you started that match, didn't you?
Yes, I did, with Peyton. We started it, got Jackson in there, and he finished. Did he finish him? Oh, no, you hit Peyton with that big lariat.
Yeah. So It was a great night for the lariat. I'll say that. So you had, Bobby wearing down Peyton. He tagged frequently with Gary. I was in there for a minute, tagged back out, and started going. But how Peyton lost was by the lariat. He didn't see it coming, but he felt it, and I was able to
felt it.
Right. It's really good when you can look up in your opponent's corner and see them reacting to one of their guys being counted. 1, 2, 3, and being eliminated. Which I gotta say, I don't know if I want to give them props, but they stuck to it. No one came back out after they were eliminated. I was a little concerned about that. Pinning one of them, and then towards the end of the match, them coming back out and interfering. They actually stuck to the rules this time, so it's kind of good. But after that, it was Sheik Prater and Attila really jumping on Gary. They kind of like cut him off from us. Anytime they were double cheating or cheating it for that matter, we tried to stop it. But unfortunately, Gary fell victim to them double teaming, and Gary was eliminated from our side. So that left 2-on-2. So me and Bobby versus Prater and Attila. And like I said, they're known for their cheating and their double cheating. So unfortunately, Bobby fell victim to it as well. So Bobby got pinned.
I turned around straight to a headshot with the title belt.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so you got Attila that has that fork that he hides on him. And what you said, you got hit with the fork and then turned around and got the belt?
Attila stabbed me with the fork. I get out of there, turn around, and there's Prater waiting with that title. Stephen E. distracting the ref.
Yeah, so
good bruises right along there for a couple days.
Yeah, so you got Stephen E., who still kind of interfered and was able to get, Bobby pinned by that. But so I was kind of like in a bad spot. I kind of tucked myself into a corner for a while because I had both Prater and Attila to myself. But I have to say, Prater's a little slow. You can tell that when he's been in the ring for a while, he gets a little gassed. And I think my experience of being in the ring longer, year-wise and being in longer matches kind of helped me out because I wasn't gassed, and you can tell Prater was. So I was able to, I think I ducked something of his and then hit the ropes, and then I was able to lariat Prater. So I got the 1, 2, 3 on that one too. Like I said, it was a night of lariats. So then it got down to just me and Attila, and it almost didn't happen because as soon as Prater lost, Attila started for the locker room. He just got out of the ring and started walking away, and Steve was right along with him.
That smoke, that one-on-one action.
Right. Once it got down to one-on-one, they didn't want it. So the referee started counting them. And he was getting up pretty high, so I was like, no, I'm not going to win it this way. I want the victory, and that would have been a victory, but that's not how I wanted it. So I went after him. I didn't even get to the floor before I jumped onto Attila. I made it out of the ropes, and the first step of the steps to get into the ring, and I just launched myself. And I actually launched myself into both of them, Stephen E. and Attila.
That's a lot of meat to be flying after.
Right. I hate to say it, but it's about 360 pounds coming at you, But yeah, so I got Attila back into the ring, and actually, as soon as I got him back into the ring, when I went to slide in, he started just pummeling me. And again, he got the fork out, and he actually got the fork into my eyes. It didn't screw me up or anything, but literally I was blinded for a while on my right side. Now, I have contacts in my eyes, but even with my contacts out, I still can see. But with him manipulating his finger into my eye and then the end of the fork, I literally could not really see right out of my right eye. And that was like that for the rest of the match. Matter of fact, it was like that after the match, even when I was able to dig my contact out and put it back in. But yeah, I mean, it was probably a good 5-6 minutes of him just pummeling me because, one, I couldn't see straight, and then with Stephen E. Getting the ref out of the view that Attila can start using the fork again. It was quite a while before I was able to get up on Attila. But again, Attila does this move with he uses both hands and he almost chops you in your throat.
Right in the throat.
Yeah. So he went to do that, and I ducked it, and I turned around real quick, and then once he turned around, I was able to get him with a surprise lariat, and got him for the 1, 2, 3. So our team, cheers, beat Attila's team. So it was a damn good night.
3 hilarious to finish it off.
So the great
I see
thing.
there's a slight little rematch between you two on the 11th of February, eh? You and Attila?
Yes. So me winning that. So technically, I already had a win over Attila, but it was due to interference, and that was for my first title shot against him. And then having another victory over Attila again, and I haven't lost any matches since the first time with Attila. So all my matches, not with Attila, but with other guys, I haven't lost anything. And with another victory Saturday night, I was awarded another chance at his title. So February 11th at the Belleville Fairgrounds, Belclair Fairgrounds.
We come back home.
Yeah, we're coming back home. And so this is going to be the start of the monthly show being in Belleville instead of East Carondelet. So the first time coming back home, I got a chance to wrestle Attila for the heavyweight belt, the classic title belt. So it's going to be. I mean, I'm going to give it all because you never know how many chances you get. And to be honest, before Attila had it, Flash had it, and I went against Flash for that belt. Of course, it was Attila that cost me that belt, and then magically Attila was able to take it off of Flash. So it's like a three-way dance we got going on here. But yeah, so I got one more shot, and I'm gonna go for it.
With any luck, next month we'll have both the champions on this podcast.
Right, and I tell you, I was thinking about it today. I don't think SICW has had a champion that's had the tag team champions, the championship belts, and the St. Louis Classic heavyweight belt.
Not as far as I remember.
I would think if I'm able to get Attila February 11th, I will be the first one to ever have that.
And you're going to have all these belts, and I'm going to have nothing.
We'll draw one on a poster for you, put it behind you.
What you get
I need to
is a press pass all around this place, man. Yeah, so you can do everyone you want. Yeah, behind the scenes access. There you go. Speaking of that, man, that was a hell of a night. It wasn't exactly the way I wanted to win the match because I would have preferred all three of us to be in there with Attila. Get his little minions out of the way and just all three of us, because all three of us have got something against Attila because somehow he screwed us all over. Before I was in this mix with Attila, he got a hold of Bobby. I
had him this close, and then they came and interfered on me.
Right.
All the video, all the pictures I've seen of you guys wrestling Attila, he's always grabbed a chair. Every single time.
Yeah, he seems to like to use his anything that is close by.
He just likes metal objects, chairs, forks.
Right. Belts. But you can even see it in the video. You can see it in the video. When he grabbed the chair, I just sat on the second rope, held up the top rope, and invited him in, but he didn't want to go. Yeah.
Ted DiBiase now, $1 Million Man.
Oh, is that? Did he post that?
Yeah, he did.
All right, so man, I would love to say it's getting crazy, out of hand, and it is, because just the people. So let's see who I have, and then let's see who else is. We got Enzo, we got the Grappler, we got Tugboat, we got Teddy Long, we got Brutus the Barber Beefcake, we got the Berserker, we got Brooklyn Brawler, of course we got Barber Goodish, we got JBL, we got Jerry Briscoe, we got Cowboy Bob Orton. And now we got $1 Million Man.
Yep.
I don't remember his name. The guy they said they spent a lot of time in Kansas City.
Oh, let's see.
Well, you forgot Jerry Hart. He's going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Hart. What was that other guy's name? That's what bothered me.
You said Jerry Briscoe, so I said Jimmy Hart is going to be there.
You're right.
Hobo is going to be there.
So it's like I said, there's still a possibility of one more person that I know of. Hopefully, he'll be coming in. And I found out tonight that there's two other ones. And let me just say they're divas. And I'm sure a lot of fans will be interested on which two divas there's going to be.
Hi, you can call me Finn.
Right. I'll have to talk to you off the air to let you know. But so it's and
Does it say who that other person is that spent the time in Kansas City? I can picture his picture right now. I cannot think of his name.
You sure that's not the Grappler?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Then
It's gonna bug me.
I'm sure I'll find the poster. I'll send it over to Nate, and I'm sure he can post it up for us. And
So we can insert it right here.
the speculation of the other three, it's just speculation. Nothing's confirmed yet, and that's why the names aren't being released. So far, I think there's a total of 15 people that we got coming in for this show. So I don't know what it all consists of, but I know it's probably going to start about 10 o'clock in the morning. And, so they're going to have the autograph signings. There's so many legends that are coming in. I think they're going to break it off like every 2 hours. They're going to rotate, one so that, their hands don't get cramped up. And plus, you get like 5 or 6 of them done, and then you got the other 6 coming in, and so the fans get re-excited about the new guys coming. And then you got the Hall of Fame, St. Louis Hall of Fame, which we already know Jerry's going to get inducted. Possibility of one other person get inducted. And we're still a few months out, so who knows what is going to actually happen. But then we're going to have the wrestling show on top of that. So we don't really know who's wrestling or how many matches there's going to be, but just expect it to be an all-day thing, and it's going to be so cool, and I think it'll go down in history because every couple of years we do an induction into the Hall of Fame for the St. Louis, because basically it's called the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, but it is basically wrestling at the Chase. So anyone who's wrestled at the Chase, and I tell you, Herb's got all the cards on everyone who's ever wrestled, everyone, their win-loss records, how they won, how they lost, and that's how you actually get put into this. So everyone that's been in there, except for the ones that are like Larry Matisek or the ring announcers, or the refs, because I know Keith Smith's father was a ref for Wrestling at the Chase, and he was put in. So basically, it's the Wrestling at the Chase legends that are getting put into the Hall of Fame. There is a couple independent Wrestling Hall of Fames for people that wasn't in the Wrestling at the Chase. So you got all the local wrestlers. There's 2 organizations that hold independent Hall of Fame. But so this one, God, it's just getting really big. There's talks about being 2 nights. That one night will be like a Q&A, and so I don't know if it'll be at the same building, but you'll be able to come in, sit down, and actually have basically one-on-one time with one or a couple of these guys who's going to be sitting there, and you're able to ask them questions or hear different road stories. And I tell you, I can't get this through to enough people. Yes, these guys wrestled in the ring. Yes, these guys were big and famous. But just to hear the stories behind everything, what got them into the business, what happened when they faced Andre the Giant, or what happened when they went to Tokyo. It's just the stories are so awesome that they tell.
That's what when we went to Colorado Alley Club, listening to the stories about was it Teeny Jarrett, where everybody just talking and telling the different stories, and I'm not going to repeat on here, but like the Jeff Jarrett and that school story, just those kind of behind the scenes things. That is one of the coolest parts.
Yeah. So I mean, and with his grandmother.
What's that?
You're a tease, Bobby. You say a story beginning, then you're not going to say it. I mean, that's like saying.
That's where you got to attend these kind of things. That's the benefit of going to them.
That's true. I'll give you a hint. It had nothing to do with Jeff Jarrett. It was actually Jerry the King Lawler. and Jerry the King Lawler is an artist. He is very good at drawing, and he got the whole promotion in trouble for something that he drew on a door that was in it was a Catholic school, right?
Yep.
So just let your imagination run wild of what could have been drawn on a door at a Catholic school that got the whole promotion in trouble. We'll just leave it at that.
I have a pretty sick imagination, so that one could go wild.
Right. Especially since I know what it was, and there's no way that you can guess it. Because even if you say a naked girl, you're half right but half wrong. So I'll just a little bit more of a tease, but I won't tell you what it was. You actually got
you're both teasing.
Right. Well, Jerry Lawler comes through here a lot. He's good friends with Herb Simmons. So there's always another chance that that the King will show up, and he might be able to tell you that story in person. So
we'll try to get him on the show and have him tell everybody. I think everybody needs to partake in that particular story.
Yeah, I think I told you about Harley's favorite place to wrestle was Japan because they were so quiet. You actually had to work to make sure that the match was going the right way. And then at the end of the match, they either cheered or booed you, and just him telling me that story, or gosh, there's if you ever read The $1 Million Man, basically, also let me stop here. It's the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase's birthday today, so just to throw it out there. So that was kind of cool that Herb, I haven't seen that poster yet, so if it's true, and Nathan's not lying to me, having the $1 Million Man put in on his birthday, confirmed for this show, that'd be kind of cool. I'll also throw a shout out, it's my wife's birthday too. She turns 21 today.
Happy birthday. But Herb posted the poster 38 minutes ago, so.
Okay.
How many 21 birthdays is this now?
I'm sure it's just the first one.
Oh, okay.